And those are our basic colors. You can get the reflectivity off of it. But it's still not even there yet because it doesn't have that real world look. How we give it that is through highlights and shadows. All right. So what we're going to do is use tape light spray for highlights, and we're going to use an aging to wipe down the whole thing, which gives it an antique-y kind of a feel, and sits in the low spots and gives it more of a realistic type of an effect. Also, there's other things that I like to put on, like some logos and maybe some model numbers and stuff like that, which kind of gives it a little bit more added realism. But really, once you age the thing down, that's what's going to give it the punch that it needs to look like the real thing. It may feel, well, there's a couple more little touch-up spots I need to do. But actually, when you put nicks and little dings and dents and stuff in it, that gives it a real feel too. So sometimes mistakes are happy mistakes or good mistakes, and you want to kind of leave them in. So I think we'll just leave that for now, and then we'll get back to like that little problem. Might work out to our advantage. So just check everything, make sure everything works. Yeah, okay, we're good. And let's move on to install the barrel. Okay, take the trigger housing off. Because most of what we're going to do after this is primarily just surface detail, and it's mostly water based, so we don't really have to tape anything off. It's going to be something that goes over the entire project. I thought it needed a little burst of color, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some. I have orange, which I'd like to put in. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Sometimes, just if you're not really sure of something, it's not good to force it. To kind of let it happen naturally. The piece will tell you what it needs. And right now, the piece is saying that it wants to do surface details. Okay. Here's our little detail that was here on the side here, and I whipped up this little logo. It's a little Atomic Energy Commission. You don't even really have to read it. It just needs to be. It needs to have a feeling that there's something there, some sort of a logo or an emblem or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roughly cut this out. This is actually the Atomic Energy Commission logo that I had for another project that I was working on, which seemed kind of cool. So I'm going to use it on this. You want it to equalize because it comes out of the printer white. You can also do it in color or in a tone. Lay it up in Photoshop and then to the scale that you want. If your paper is a little thicker, you can actually sand it too, because it's made of wood. And you can use spray adhesive or you can use glue. I'm going to use spray adhesive on this. Another great thing is Letraset. They're vinyl press letters, and you can lay out whatever writing you want, actually right onto the piece. I don't have any of that right now, so we just work with what we have. We're printing out anything that we need on the computer. So the computer can be a helpful tool every once in a while. And let me get some spray adhesive. Let that dry a little. And we'll move on to these little guys. The reason they're so dark is because I wanted to neutralize. You don't want them too loud. You want to kind of knock down the intensity of anything, so it doesn't draw your attention directly to that. You don't want any one specific thing to be too eye-catching. So I just use a little bit of gunmetal and just kind of create a transparency, light transparency over it in order to see, that's going to go that away. Letraset would be far better for this. But if you don't have Letraset and they're kind of hard to come by, this is like the next best thing for you. Something you kids can do at home. Let that tack up a little bit. Okay, now this guy is ready. And I'm going to place the symbol on the plate, kind of centered. We got our little logo here. And a couple drops of cyano. And a little kicker, wherever that went. Where did it? Oh, here we are.